of Kitui County, Dr. Julius Malombe. I've called you here so that you too can witness when we are launching the task force on sand harvesting policy and management, which we have constituted to help our county to come up with the procedures, to come up with the regulations, and to come up with modalities of how sand harvesting and management will be undertaken in our county. Currently, the way it is being done is not orderly, it's haphazard, and is characterized by a lot of innuendos, a lot of character assassination, a lot of lies, a lot of interests, and even a lot of apprehension or concerns, people thinking they are going to be displaced after we put the task force in place. The task force is not there to investigate. I've seen in social media posts or even in some mainstream media using the word investigate. We are not investigating anyone. We are put a task force to advise us how we are going to put order or to bring order in that particular sector for the benefit of our people. Sand is a very important resource. It is the most highly mined resource after water in the world, because it makes a lot of things. It makes glass, it is even used in phones and in many other things. And therefore it is mined so that it can be used for those particular processes. And a county like ours must ensure that resource which is located within our borders is used properly. I want to state sand does not, or rivers do not belong to those people who border or whose land border where those rivers or where the sand is. If you look at the Constitution, Article 63, which is part of Chapter 5 on land and environment, land is defined as rivers, and by extension sand is defined as land which vests with the national government. But if you look further at the Constitution, particularly the functions which have been assigned to county governments, specifically Schedule 4, Function 8, and Function 10, and Function 14, which relate to the need to conserve soils, which relate to the need to ensure proper county planning, which relate to ensuring that the environment is conserved and protected, and which is also supposed, if you also read at Article 174 on the objects of devolution, which indicates the resources within a county should be, as much as possible, be utilized for the benefit of the people of that particular county. When you look at all those, you find that particular resource, the county government has a duty to ensure it is utilized for the benefit of our people, and it's not necessarily owned by individuals, because it is not owned by anybody. Nobody should tell you we own this sand, we own this river. Even if you go and you have land near a river, you are supposed to be about meters off the bank of the river. That is what is called the riparian area. You are not supposed to even have a shamba. It's 20 meters, 20 rivers from the riverbank. You are not supposed to say this is my land. I know a lot of people wanalima huko. You are not supposed to say it's your land. Neither can you say the river is yours. Neither can you say the sand is yours. It belongs to all of us. But it is the responsibility of our county government after devolution to make sure such a resource which is located within our borders is managed properly and utilized for the benefit of all people. How do we do that? One of the things we are going to do, and which we hope will be in the policy after the task force finishes its work as per the terms of reference which you have given them, which we will be sharing with you, is to have a framework where those who scoop sand in the rivers, they will still have jobs. We envisage, we may change, but we envisage a situation where we don't allow all lorries, ile ya miguu ine, ile ya miguu chache, na ile ya miguu 12 na ingine nyingi inaenda kwa river. We will have a situation where we will allow or license only a few people and the lorries, particularly organized people, to go to the river. And when they go to the river, designated areas of a river, then the people who scoop land and load onto lorries, they will be able to do that. And that sand will be taken to a yard where it is collected. We are referring to them in the terms of reference you see as aggregation yards, where sand from a certain point in a certain area and another point, it's all brought together and aggregated. And it is from where ile watu ambao wanataka sand for commercial use, for use in buildings, in Kitui, in Mwingi, and other places, they can be able to come and buy. And then our county revenue officers will be able now to collect the revenue in an organized manner, because we will have a structure of how that will be done. And then the sand scoopers, they will have jobs twice than they have now, because they will be loading the sand at the river, they will come at the aggregation site at the yard, and they will offload the sand, wanalipwa tena, and then watu ambao wanakuja nunua, they will load again and wanalipwa tena. So we also want this to create jobs for our boys and girls and our people, more than it is creating now. Now it is not creating. Wanaenda huko wanalipwa 50 shillings, 100 shillings, na it's not organized, na you cannot complain, and it's, you know, it's a farsa. Na revenue collection is not properly structured, na haiendelee vizuri. Mwisho wa hii task force ikimaliza kazi, itatupatia the Kitui County policy on sand harvesting and management, a draft. Na tutapatia pia the Kitui County sand harvesting and management bill. Bill ndiyo ikipitishwa na county assembly inakuwa an act, sheria ambayo inaweza tumika sasa to enforce matters relating to sand. Currently, mtu ambaye anatoka county ana sheria yoyote ambayo anaweza tumia ya kuenforce mambo ya sand. Una rely on other agencies, either the police, and if they don't want it to enforce, you have nowhere to go, and you have no law. It's like a dog which has no tooth, or toothless dog which is barking. But when you have a law, then you have something which you can enforce, and if you go to a court of law, you can say, huyu amegeuka sheria hii, na koti inaweza kukusikiliza, and you will have the wherewithal and the means of enforcing the policy and the bill ambao itakuwa imepitishwa na kaunti ya Kitui. Kile kingine, we have said deliberately we don't want to divide our counties into small units called villages, called wards, called sub-counties. Although those are there, they are for other purposes. We have said the sand resource, which belongs to all of us, is supposed to be done in an organized manner where we have circles, but circles given a license to oversee matters, sand harvesting and management and environmental protection, because that must be there, and taking care of the roads which those lorries will be passing. Money must be plowed back there. Even the money must be plowed around the communities through where some of those lorries, and they churn a lot of dust. Some money must be plowed there to build hospitals, to build schools, and even to tarmac some of the roads where necessary. The county government will have a framework of reinvesting that money from that place. So we have reorganized the county so that we have about 5 basins, what we are calling them river basins. And let me, for your benefit, read some of the some of the basins. Hizi circles ambazo zinatengenezwa ziwe zinaangalia the environment, mazingara yawe restored, na hiyo itakuwa katika policy na katika bill what you are supposed to do. If you are licensed to collect that sand here, how you are supposed to make the environment good. As a result, we have a team which is all inclusive. We have community specialists, we have people who have done work in various areas, we have engineers, we have people who have dealt with the environment. For example, we requested the Director General of NEMA, Kenya, to nominate somebody, and he nominated Sarah Kioko, who is a Regional Director of NEMA Eastern. She's a member and she's here. And we are fortunate to have requested, and she accepted, Madam Esther Musili to be our chair. She was Executive Director of Aggregate Development Services. Executive Director. Kuonyesha ana ujuzi ya kuongoza. Because kuongoza timu kama hii, na hii timu ina 14 members of the task force, ina chairman, a vice chair, na ina 3 joint secretaries, wakiwemo Mr. Mukulo, who is the acting director in the Ministry of Environment. Now we have another officer there, also a senior officer. What is her name? Lillian Musili, another officer there. But also within the Secretariat, we have somebody who is a key stakeholder on matters and who has a degree in commerce and many other things, whom we have brought to the Secretariat, because the Secretariat is the one which takes the lead in ensuring the report is well documented, the policy which will be developed is a good policy, and the bill, so that ikiletwa kwa cabinet, because wakimaliza wataleta na tutapeleka kwa cabinet, na cabinet tukiipitisha, then we send it to the county assembly, na wakipitisha itakuwa policy ambao itakuwa inafuatiliwa katika kaunti ya Kitui, na sheria ambao itakuwa inatuongoza katika kaunti ya Kitui juu ya mambo ya sand harvesting na management and environmental, na hiyo mweke underline, and environmental conservation. Hatutaki kutumia vitu wakati huu or resources wakati huu in an irresponsible manner, tumalizie vizazi vya kesho na kesho kutwa. Ndio ile value nilisema ya 17 katika National Values and Principles of Governance inaitwa sustainable development. Sustainable development ni current generations watumie resources in a responsible manner, wakijua wengine watazaliwa na wengine watakuja, na wanatakiwa wapute our rivers with sand, si iwe mawe kama mumeona mali ingine imechukuliwa yote and wameachiwa mawe peke yake. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa ni vizuri niwaeleze hii. Nimesema tutawapatia the terms of reference, Tukiendelea mbele, mkitaka kujua ni nini inaendelea juu ya hii sekta, waziri wetu Mr. Mwendandu, the Minister for Environment, Energy, Climate Change, Forestry, Natural and Mineral Resources. Okay? Jina ni kubwa, ni kwa sababu this time round we did not want to subsume climate change within environment, because climate change has become a very big subject globally. And tunataka iangaliwe. Hata leo tulikuwa na mkutano hapa na watu wa World Bank na wengine wanatoka Treasury, wameenda Kaui, Kisasi and Mbitini to benchmark. Mambo is benchmarking, but yote itaenda in all the 40 wards ili pia mambo ya climate change tuwe tunaangalia vizuri katika county letu. There was no county revenue officer who was caught with money. The money which was caught and which was shown on TV belonged to the group which was licensed even before I became governor to scoop sand. And when I came, because there was a ban, and the ban said you can't take sand out of Kitui County, and some people were pressurizing me, Governor, lift this ban, lift this ban. Nilisema, I cannot do such a thing. Because imagine, I land into the office, my predecessor, the former governor, had a ban for sand, na mimi nimekuja, hatuna policy, hatuna sheria, na hatuna mpangilio, na ni lift ban, ili sand ianze kuchukuliwa kiolela olela. Hiyo nilikataa, nikasema sitafanya, tutangoja mpaka tuweke mikakati ya vile itafanya. Kwa hivyo wakati huo, our revenue officer was not found with any money. Na niliuliza, because it was my duty as governor, nikiona kitu kama hiyo niulize what is it, and I was given a report, and I have the report showing watu ambao walikuwa license wachukue sand, the people with the lorries, they pay what they are supposed to pay to the county government directly into our account. And I have a statement showing pesa ambayo imekuwa inalipwa. Hiyo pesa ambayo ilipatikana from a clerk of that group, is a sand group, is a some circle. And they have their own person at Kanyonyo who collects the revenue, I mean their money. And it is not the business of the county government kuingilia SACCOs and others, how they collect money from their members and how they do it. Na hiyo mambo ilienda hata kwa koti, ilikuwa kwa koti Machakos, na koti direct the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission warudishie that group, not the county government, warudishie that group 170, is it 174? 174,000 shillings. There is a court order, which we have here. It was brought to my office the day before yesterday. Order ilipeanwa uko Machakos. Now, so that is a position. County letu alikuwa na mtu. After we got in, we studied the situation and we said, pesa ilipwe directly to our account, and that's what is happening, and the evidence is there. Okay? The evidence is there. And therefore, those who were responsible for putting that false information, they hold us an apology. Na hata ikiwa wewe uliandika na uchachochea hiyo ya uongo bila kuestablish ukweli iko wapi, tafadhali usifanye hivyo tena, kwa sababu unaharibu majina ya junior officers na ya county zima nyinyi mkiweko. Msiseme if this county sinks that like it had sunk. Hapa sipalikuwa mishahara ilipo, madawa hakuna, project haipeana, and many things we can mention. Ikizama hata nyinyi mnazama, si maduka hapa ilikuwa money no circulation, hakuna money circulation. Tusizamishe kaunti letu kwa kuchangia porojo ambazo haziko. Vitu kama hii, kuna rumors and rumor mongers, na watu they like this cliche, relative son nini wa governor, nyinyi tulikuwa na nyinyi wakati wa siasa, wale walikuwa na mimi kwa siasa throughout. Muliona mtu ambaye alikuwa enanza. Kuna mahali tulienda, kina mama wakasema waenda nyumbani bila kitu, na wale tulikuwa nao, kuna mahali mbili ilimalizika, akasema mbona hatu ya M-Pesa, mbona Malombe anaye sawa. Kile tunahitaji ni kufanyia watu watu yetu ya kazi, na tulipangwa huku juu, na mimi sikuwajasikia. Miliona tulipangwa ya namba 1. But we have not heard anything from you. Muko kimya. Wajua kuja namba 1 si kitu rahisi. Ama muna doubt? Mwitasiano River Basin, which is made up of the river Stevens, Mwitasiano, Mutendea, Kadundu, Kaui, Dhimani, Mwiwe, Mubuku, and Ikindu, among others, because this is not comprehensive. That is the first basin. The second is Dua Iko Ngunga River Basin, made up of rivers Dua Iko, Ngunga, Kiongwe, Masa, Kisio, Mutwei, Binda, and Mubuko, among others. Number 3 basin is Enziu, Mwania, Moi River Basin, made up of rivers Enziu, Kivo, Mwania, Iso, and Izungudu, among others. Number 4 is Tiangu, Tenika, Muongo River Basin, made up of rivers Tiaka, Muongo, Gutenika, Nginga, and Mbakini, among others. And number 5 and last is the Z2, because it's double high, Kase and the Kanyungu River Basin, made up of river Z2, Nguku, Iguini, Konyu, Thua, Kase, Wangutu, Kalange, Kamegia, that is the Raka, and the Mumwengea and the Kanyungu, among others. So there will be 5 river basins, and we envisage a situation where we will have SACCOs, which are licensed and issued with permits by the Kitui County government, in order to be able to not only harvest sand in those places responsibly and sustainably and environmentally properly. Okay? There will be license there, and then we will also have a framework for ensuring people who require sand for their local use. There's somebody wants to build a house, somebody is not selling sand or wants to build something, a base for. Kikotex, the report we have, last year they made a loss of 80 million Kenya shillings. Loss. Now the taxman, KRA, is demanding from the county government of Kitui 200 and what? 94 million. Ambayo haikulipwa. VAT ile kabla ongeza 294 plus 80. Hiyo ni ngapi? Sasa unasema tuweke kitu kingine. Tafadhalini. Lakini tumesema we don't want to make what are called roadside decisions. Tumeambia hiyo timu angalieni objectively, mtu advise, is this viable and is it sustainable? Na si hiyo peke yake, hata ile crusher, hata Chamadha Industries inaitwa Pama nini, ati kuna sabuni itatengenezwa huko and I don't know what. Ukiangalia huko mashini zinapata kutu, ukiuliza hii pesa ilikuwa inatoka hapa, ilikuwa inawekwa account gani, uonyeshwi. Hiyo ndio ripoti ambayo ilitoka kwa ile committee ya motor vehicles, plant and equipment ingine for those. So we don't want to make a quick decision, but that is where we have reached. We know there are people pressurizing for me to say tutaendelea ama hatutaendelea. Sitaki kufanya hiyo decision because it will not be a well-informed decision. But from what we are seeing, the loss which has been made, despite the hype which was being all over, Loss ya 80 million ndugu yangu. Na ukiongeza hii tax, hiyo ni 300 and what? 8 what? Whatever. Yeah. If I ask you what is the alternative cost or alternative use of 360 in terms of other development, ECD classes unaweza jenga ngapi at the rate of 1 million each? 300. Over 300. 300 ikiingia 50 students, how many students would be helped rather than it sinking money in a black hole? 15,000. Institution yoyote ikifika mahali hailipi mishahara, your advice, anza kutafuta kazi nyingine, because hata bibi atatoroka. Thank you. Yeah. Key context the report we have. Last year they made a loss of 80 million Kenya shillings. Loss. Na the taxman, KRA, is demanding from the county government of Kitui 200 and what? 94 million. Ambayo haikulipwa. VAT ili kabda. Ongeza 294 plus 80. Hiyo ni ngapi? Sasa unasema tuweke kitu kingine. Tafadhalini. Lakini tumesema we don't want to make what are called roadside decisions. Tumeambia hiyo timu, angalieni objectively, mtu advise, is this viable and is it sustainable? Na si hiyo peke yake, hata ile crusher, hata some other industries inaitwa Pama nini, ati kuna sabuni itatengenezwa huko and I don't know what. Ukiangalia huko mashini zinapata kutu, ukiuliza hii pesa ilikuwa inatoka hapa, ilikuwa inawekwa account gani, uonyeshwi. Hiyo ndio ripoti ambayo ilitoka kwa ile committee ya motor vehicles, plant and equipment ingine for those. So we don't want to make a quick decision, but that is where we have reached. We know there are people pressurizing for me to say tutaendelea ama hatutaendelea. Sitaki kufanya hiyo decision because it will not be a well-informed decision. But from what we are seeing, the loss which has been made, despite the hype which was being all over, loss ya 80 million ndugu yangu. Na ukiongeza hii tax, hiyo ni 300 and what? 8 what? Whatever.